Hello and welcome from the Geneva Motorshow. This is a MyCarCoach quick overview of the Geneva Motorshow, and what I will do is take you around each of the key star attractions. The Ferrari California has been updated for the 2014 model year. We've got a revised rear styling. Notice the exhausts now are not mounted vertically, they're mounted horizontally in keeping with the rest of the Ferrari range. You've still got a metal folding hard top. But the key difference now is that the car now features a turbocharged engine, and it's the first Ferrari in the range to use turbo power. If we have a look around the front there, you'll see the revised treatment to the front is also in keeping with the rest of the Ferrari range, and to my eyes it makes the California a much better looking car. 3.8 turbocharged engine. For me, the highlight of the Ferrari stand this year is the 458 S.p.A. This is the street racer version, if you like, of the 458 model. It's been lowered, it's been lightened, and it's been given a boost in power. 0 to 60 takes approximately 3 seconds, and it features a host of aerodynamic trickery. We've got inlets there in the front wings to give cooling to the brakes. Take you around and you can have a look at the car in profile view. This is a classic Ferrari, modern Ferrari, in the sense that all form follows function. So although it looks an incredibly beautiful car, all of the design achieves a key purpose. I'll just give you a shot of the interior. In keeping with its street race pretensions, it's very bare in here, complete stripped out metal floor, racing bucket seats, the 4-point harness, and notice to the center console an attractive button selector to give you various race modes. Beautiful car, and an incredibly rare one at that. Now I have to bring you over to Alfa Romeo to show you this one. This is a world premiere of the new 4C Spider model. Alfa's not quite sure as yet how the roof mechanism is going to work, but wanted to bring it to Geneva anyway to show off its literally bite the back of your hand pretty. This is such a beautiful car. Let's see if we can get a closer look at the interior for you. It's difficult to see with the light. You've got some nice tan leather seats in there. And also notice, compared to the standard 4C, which is there, notice the difference in the headlight treatment. For me, this makes the 4C much better resolved in terms of styling. But make no mistake, this will sell incredibly well and will act as a real halo car for Alfa Romeo. Another exciting car making an appearance is this Maserati concept car called the Del Fieri, and it's a concept of what a Maserati coupe will look like in roughly, they say, well, Maserati are telling me, approximately 2018. Now I think they may well build it before then. If we just give you a quick tour of some of the details, you've got the classic Maserati wing vents there, but if you look round, the back is quite interesting from a styling point of view. You've got the rear haunch there, classic Maserati styling trait again. Move around to the back, and you can see the rear treatment is unlike any real current Maserati. It's a real different design direction for the company, but it does look absolutely stunning. And Maserati have certainly got a lot of interest in this car from the show thus far. So there you have it. You saw it here first, the Maserati Del Fieri. Moving over to the Jaguar stand, this year represents the unveiling of Jaguar's F-Type R Coupe. I'll just show you around the lines of the car. Notice the yellow calipers in this case represent Jaguar's first carbon ceramic brake option. But this is an incredibly good looking car. So it retains those thin LED strip lights of the F-Type Roadster, but has so much more hallmarks of E-Type than the Roadster. Fabulous looking car. news on the Jaguar stand is this, the unveiling of the XFRS estate model, or sport brake as Jaguar call it. Essentially the same as the XFRS Saloon, but now put into a Labrador friendly package. Great looking car. If I take you around to the back, you'll see the space that you get with the car. And just to give you a quick idea of what the car looks like with the boot closed. So it loses the whale tail spoiler of the XFRS Saloon, which is an option by the way, and replaces it with a much more subtle version. Okay, the car could hardly be called subtle, but it's more subtle and delicate than the Saloon. Rolls-Royce stand, we have Rolls-Royce's newest model, the Wraith. This is based on the Ghost, but transforms it into a coupe with a distinctive fast back, as I'll show you. Rolls-Royce will not use the term sporty to describe any of their cars, but this is certainly marketed as the most dynamic. So if you are in the fortunate position to afford a Rolls-Royce and you like to have a drive, this is the car for you. It uses a V12 engine from the Ghost, but has been upgraded to produce 624 horsepower, giving an acceleration time of 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds. For a big heavy car, that is certainly impressive. To give you an inside shot of the Wraith, just to notice the exquisite detailing on the car. Notice the veneer trim to the door panel with the Spirit of Ecstasy there. The Art Deco touches to the door pulls. Moving inside. Notice the stitched leather. Everywhere is leather, metal or veneer. And this does feature the optional Star Sky. This uses LED lights mounted in the ceiling of the car to produce a nighttime effect. Surprising amount of room in the back, so this car can waft 4 adults most comfortably down to Monaco for the weekend. We're on the Citroën stand now, an important car. This is the revised Citroën C1 Super Mini. So it now features Citroën's, let's say, dynamic frontal styling, daytime running lights, as is the norm these days. But it looks quite a funky car. For example, with this one you can have it with a retractable folding roof. If I just move around to show you the back. The previous Citroën C1 has been going for a long time now, since I think 2005, so it was well overdue a change. But this model helps to address that. To give you a shot of the interior now, this actually has leather seats, believe it or not, and some nice little red highlights to lift the interior. I've just been told that the starting price is predicted for this car approximately €10,000, but more information will be released by Citroën soon. Funky little car though, I like it. Over now on the Mercedes stand, the two big cars this year are the new S-Class Coupe and also the new C-Class as well, C-Class Saloon that I will come to. This though is the flagship, previously badged as the CL. It's a return to form now to give it the S-Class name. I'll show you around to the side of the car so you get a perspective on it. Some sharply defined creases there in the bodywork. You can see how it mirrors the design of the latest S-Class. Round to the back though, this is where it differs more than you would expect, looking almost 6 Series, BMW 6 Series from the rear. But a very smart car. Prices will start, I think, above 100 or close to £100,000 in the UK. When it gets released later in the year. But it does feature the classic CL, or previously known as CL, design traits. If you look at the way the shape of the rear window merges then with the side window as well. nice looking car. So as I mentioned earlier, this is Mercedes' new C-Class, and the outgoing model was well overdue a replacement. This, in my opinion, makes up for lost time though. It's a very, very smart looking car. It makes the BMW 3 Series look quite bland. And there's been a lot of tweaks to the engineering side to ensure that actually this drives better than any C-Class before it. Just move around to the side of the car. Again, you now see that in many ways it has the advantage of looking like a shrunken S-Class. So for the money, it actually offers almost S-Class classic looks for a lot less money. This will do very well though. Now over here now at the BMW stand, this is something to make traditional car fans weep into their car magazines. BMW's first front-wheel drive model. It's called the 2 Series Active Tourer, and it's BMW's first MPV model. Features, like I say, front-wheel drive, which for BMW, who have always harked on about the benefits of rear-wheel drive for their cars, is a big change. Styling-wise, it's not as bad as it perhaps looks in the images, but it's certainly not the most dynamic of BMWs in its design. But this really is a car designed to lift BMW's sales even further still. It's a company that sells many cars, but this really will take it into the Super League in terms of volume. So out goes the brand hallmarks, if you like, and in exchange, in comes the volume. Now I can't not talk about BMW's new flagship sports car, the i8. BMW's i-Range, if you remember, is their electric/hybrid cars. This is a hybrid which uses an electric motor coupled with a 3-cylinder petrol engine to give supercar performance. 0 to 60, for example, is under 5 seconds, but also to give the fuel economy and emissions of a much lower powered car. So on the combined cycle, for example, which is a slightly warped figure, the car does give approximately thereabouts 118 miles per gallon. But make no mistake, this is the future of sports car. Having an electric motor coupled with a small petrol engine to deliver the performance, but also the fuel economy that we are all going to need in a future where petrol prices are going sky high. I'll just flash around to the rear of the car because it's an interesting style, like no other BMW. And for any of those celebrities / wealthy people that want to show their eco-credentials, this is the car for them. It will cost over £100,000. I think it is below £120,000 here in the UK. But this is a very interesting development. Can you guess where we are now? Over here now at the Mini stand. This is the new 2014 Mini, and this is the third version of the new Mini. This is an all-new car, and to be honest, when I first saw pictures of it, my first response was that the styling was a little bit fussy. Big, huge front headlamps, and if we move round to the rear, you'll see the huge rear light clusters, which look almost comically oversized. But I have to say, in the flesh, actually, it works better than it does in the pictures. It's longer than the previous car. It's more refined, but still will enjoy the legendary Mini go-kart handling, and the interior is more premium in the feel. Let me just show you what that looks like. So looking inside, you can see it's traditional Mini fare, but note now that what was the central speedo is now effectively for the infotainment purposes. The speedo and the rev counter have both been moved on top of the steering wheel, but there's been a real uplift in quality for the materials used, but still retains that quirkiness of interior Mini design. So here's an interesting one for you then. The first 5-door Mini. This is a world premiere of the Mini Clubman concept. So it takes the styling elements of the new 2014 Mini, but actually makes it into a more practical 5-seat version. Now, this is strictly deemed a concept and therefore is a design build study, but between you and me, this is definitely earmarked for production. I would anticipate that this would be launched later in 2015. Just move around here and show you the inside of the car. Ignore a lot of the concept design traits, but you get the idea. Much more practical version of the Mini, and actually styling wise it works. I think it actually works better than the current, well, the next generation 2014 Mini that we saw a moment ago. Nice rear styling with the, and actually it's not a 5-door at all, it's actually a 6-door because these doors open like the current Clubman. So they pull open like two van doors. It's a nice looking car. And if it retains a bulk of these concept car looks, I think it will sell really well. So the sooner the Mini make this, the better. Here we have a bit of an exclusive for you, the new McLaren P1. This is McLaren's new flagship supercar. Interestingly enough, I only just found out recently that the P1 stands for Position 1. I'll give you a shot of the interior. Notice all the exposed carbon fibre. It's given a beautiful smooth finish. A very simplistic interior as well. All about the driver with this car. Notice that it's a hybrid model, so it features a V8 power that's closely derived from the McLaren 12C, but it uses an electric motor to give the added power. Numbers for the car, approximately 900, in excess of 900 horsepower. The aim really with this car, McLaren say, is to redefine what is a supercar. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, well over 200 miles an hour. But the numbers are meaningless, it's all about how it actually gets there and the speed and effortless nature in which it can accelerate to those frankly ridiculous speeds. All of them are sold out. They've made, I can't remember, it's just over 300. They've all sold out at £1 million a piece. So a very rare car indeed. So here we find ourselves on the Renault stand of all places, and for me one of the standout stars of the Geneva Motorshow this year, and it is the Renault Twingo. It's rear-engined and rear-wheel drive. So you can tell all of your friends that it has the same layout as a Porsche 911. But it's Renault's new Super Mini, so think of it in terms of the Renault's equivalent to the Fiat 500, the new Citroën C1. But it's an incredibly funky little car. I think it will offer a host of customization as well. But this is something I'm really looking forward to driving. But I think, in whichever colour you choose, this looks absolutely fab. A sure winner. To the Audi stand now, an important launch for Audi with this new TT. The blink and you'll miss them in terms of updates. You can see that there's the new grille here, new headlights as well with the LED styling. But the shape is familiar to anyone who knows the Audi TT. I'll just take you around the back so you can see what that looks like. So business as usual really when it comes to the rear end styling for the new TT. Just updated essentially. Familiar shape still exists. It's an attractive car, there's no doubt about that. It's just a shame that Audi went a little bit braver with the TT. Bearing in mind that when the TT first came out, it was a real trendsetter and really moved the game on. It's a shame they couldn't have done a little bit more with this. But it will sell well, I'm sure, and it's certainly attractive. To the Porsche stand now, an incredibly important car for Porsche. This is the new Macan, which is their latest SUV, which will sit below the Cayenne in its model lineup. And as you can see by the amount of people that are on this stand, this is going to be an incredibly popular model for Porsche when it goes on sale later this year. It looks like a Cayenne from the front, but it's much nicer around the back. And actually the treatment and the styling treatment of this is really, really nice. To rival the Range Rover Evoque, Audi Q5, but this will sell by the bucket load. Here it is from the rear, and as I said, you can see now it's much cleaner in its design, a much more attractive car. This will be big. And so to the finale of this Geneva Motorshow tour, the new Lamborghini Huracan. It's Lamborghini's newest supercar. It is to replace the outgoing Gallardo model. It will have a V10 engine. Will be priced from, well, let's say above 150,000 but below 200,000 pounds. It's a typical Lamborghini style in its execution, all angular, all aggressive, but it looks absolutely fantastic. A full review of this whole motor show will be on the website, so please visit mycarcoach.co.uk and go to the review section for all of the in-depth analysis. Thanks for watching. I'm absolutely knackered and I'm off for a beer. Ciao for now.